Alright, so this video lecture will cover one particular example, and in our class lecture I didn't have chance to talk about a single rate versus dual rate measures, so we don't have that piece in our lecture. And right now I would like to go through a detailed example so that you can have the technical component in this lecture. So this is about well, first of all, I would assume that you have read the question, so I would like to jump to the calculation part. If you haven't, you might want to read the question before you continue to watch my video. Okay, so basically we have a different manufacturing departments, and we have a so-called practical capacity, and also we have expected usage. So these are different numbers, okay, different numbers. And now we have a fixed cost and a variable cost. Okay, of course you can get the total cost easily. So the part A is we're going to apply a single cost pool. Okay, and there are two different rates we're going to use. The first one is based on the practical capacity. The second one is based on the average expected monthly usage. So that's the rate here. And the part 2, we are going to actually have dual rate method. Okay, we're going to have a dual rate method. Okay, so when we come to the part 2, we will talk about it. So let's first take a look at part 1. For the part 1, so we are going to look at two scenarios. The first is we are going to apply the practical capacity to find out the budgeted rate, and for the expected monthly rate, whatever, that's part B. So we're going to compute the rate based on the average expected monthly usage. So that's the second part. So therefore we're going to have a 1A and a 1B instead of these questions. So let me first kind of change my Excel worksheet a little bit. Okay. Sorry. Excuse me a little bit. I mean just. Okay, so that's what we have. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to look at 1A. Okay, if we are going to use practical capacity, okay, so we're going to have the following. So we're going to have a practical capacity in hours. Okay. So we start with the from the first Livonia and the Warren, okay, and Dearborn and Westerland. Okay, so we have actually 4 of them, and if you want to have total, that's fine too. So, and in hours, we are looking at 1600, 22,000. I'm sorry, 16,000, 22,000, and 23,000, and 19,000, and 80,000. Okay, so we have 3. We have all the practical capacity in hours given here, and then we can go ahead. Okay, we can go ahead and find the cost allocated. Now the question is how to find the cost allocation rate. Okay, because we're looking at a single rate cost allocation rate. Okay, so single rate method. Okay, we're going to find the cost allocation rate. So therefore, all you have to do is you are going to add the total cost. Okay, divide the total cost by the number of practical capacity in hours, which is 80,000. That's how you find the cost allocation rate. So it's not really that difficult. Okay, so the total cost we're looking at is 4,000 and 17,600. So we're looking at the 21,600. Then the total hours, we're looking at 80,000. And keep that in mind, we're doing the single rate method, and we are going to find the rate based on the practical capacity in hours. So this rate is going to be, you divide 21,600 by 80,000. Okay, so the result is 27 cents. Then you are going to allocate okay, the total cost using the 27 cents. Okay, that's the rate and also the number of hours used. Okay, so this next we're going to do the following. Right, so yeah, you do similar calculations. You multiply the number of hours allocated and by the rate, okay, with the rate. Then that's how you go ahead and find all these results. Okay. Okay, and you can go ahead and add them together, and you should get 21,600. Okay, 21,600. Okay, which is right there. So that's 1A. The 1B is highly similar, but this time we're going to use a average expected. Okay, so I'm going to use a expected monthly okay, usage. Okay, so it's expected. Okay, okay, in hours, and we'll also have cost allocated. So pretty much similar, and I'm going to also write down the company, the department units names, and in hours. And this time we have to use expected monthly usage in hours. So for Livonia we have 12,000. For Warren we have 10,000. For Dearborn we have 8,000. For Westerland we have 10,000. The total we're looking at 40,000. And for the cost allocated, we have to use the the new rate. Okay, once again, it's a single rate method, and the cost allocation rate is going to be the total cost divided by the total hours, and we're going to use expected monthly usage in hours. So it's a little different, but the calculation is exactly the same. So still we have 21,600. For total hours, we're going to use 40,000. Okay, 40,000. So then you can go ahead compute the rate. So we divide 21,600 by 40,000, so you get 54 cents. So then you do the multiplication to find allocated costs. Okay, allocated costs. Okay, so the calculation is pretty much the same. Okay, so not very surprising. Okay, so you can actually add them. Alright, so after that you should get 21,600. So that's about question A, single rate. Very simple. You just need to specify, okay, what cost allocation base units I'm going to use and how to allocate. So pretty simple. Okay, so now let's go to the part 2. The part 2 says we're going to use a due rate method. Okay, and we're going to separate a variable cost from a fixed cost. For the variable cost, we are going to allocate on the basis of expected monthly usage. For the fixed cost, we are going to allocate on the basis of practical capacity. So you have to basically have two separate base rates and also two separate cost allocation. Okay, so now we are going to look at, okay, for the entire cost, okay, how much will be allocated to each manufacturing department. So that's basically the question. And then let's go ahead, and this time it's going to be due rate, okay, method. All right, due rate method. So first you have to take a look at, okay, the variable cost pool. Okay. Okay. So therefore, we are looking for the cost allocation rate. Okay. So we have total cost, we have the total hours, and I'm pretty sure for variable cost we are focusing on expected usage. Okay, expected usage. So that's very important. So we can go ahead and look at what numbers we're going to use for total cost. We're looking at 4,000. So let's go ahead, 4,000, and for the expected monthly usage, the total is 40,000. Perfect. So we have 4,000 US dollars, and we have 40,000 hours. Okay. So this cost allocation rate for variable cost pool is going to be 4,000 divided by 40,000. So you get basically 10 cents per hour. Okay. Then also we're going to do the fixed cost pool. Okay, so we have cost allocation rate, then we have total cost, then we have total hours, and this time we're using the practical capacity. So from that perspective, okay, so we have basically 17,600 US dollars USD, and we have 80,000. That's total hours. So the rate is going to be you divide 17,600 by 80,000, so you get 22 cents, which is perfect. Okay, so I don't have any problems with 22 cents, okay, and 10 cents. Okay, they're perfect. They're perfect. So now we come to the time. How are we going to find the budgeted cost allocated to each department? So it's going to be quite interesting because this time we have to handle the due rate. Okay, due rate. So first of all, I'm going to copy those department units. So we have 4 department units, and we are going to do the variable, and we are going to do the fixed. Okay, and we have to be a little bit careful. So for the variable, first of all, let's find out the expected usage hours. Okay, for each department. So I'm looking at 12,000 hours. I'm looking at 10,000 hours. I'm looking at 8,000 hours. I'm looking at 10,000 hours. Okay, so together you should have 40,000 hours. Okay, then in terms of a cost, okay, in terms of cost, let me move this fixed down there. In terms of cost, we are going to apply the 10 cents. That's the rate we're going to apply. We multiply 10 cents by the number of expected usage in hours to figure out the variable cost that should be allocated to each department unit. So let's multiply the number of expected usage hours by the cost allocation rate. Okay, so it shouldn't be that bad. So if you add them together, that's how you get the, I'm pretty sure you will get 4,000, but still I want to show you that. Okay, get 4,000, which is what do we want. Okay, for the fixed, it's kind of similar, but be careful. For the fixed, we are going to use a practical capacity in hours, so it's going to be different set of numbers. So we have 16,000, we have 22,000, we have 23,000, and we have 19,000. If you add them together, you're having 80,000. Okay. Then when you come to the cost, okay, when we come to the cost, then what we have is, okay, we are going to multiply the new fixed cost pool rate, which is 22 cents, by the corresponding number of hours, of a practical capacity. So this one is going to be 16,000 and then multiplied by 22 cents. Okay. So you kind of do similar things. I'm pretty sure you will get all the way here. Okay, so I skipped these typings, but you know how to find them. Then I'm going to add all of them to verify. Okay, it should give me 17,600. Okay, which is what I want. So finally, you're not done yet. Okay, because you have determined the variable cost and the fixed cost allocated to each department unit. So now you have to actually add the variable and the fixed together to tell people, okay, what is total? Okay, what is total? So let's go ahead and add the variable cost allocated to the fixed cost allocated. Okay, so you get this number, and we can, kind of drag and pull. So so calculations are the same for all the rest. Okay, so now you can add all these 4 numbers to. Sorry. I don't know what's happening here. Okay. So you get 21,600. Okay, well, which is exactly when you add 4,000 to 17,600. So now you're kind of done with the part 2 question. Okay, part 2 question. So now let's come to the qualitative question. So what budget amounts will be allocated? We have done that. Why might you prefer the dual rate method? So you might want to talk a little bit more about this second piece in the second question. So the dual rate method permits a more refined allocation. So that's very important because it considers more detailed operating, and it's quite important when you have more detailed analysis and more detailed allocation. So it uses a different allocation basis to take care of all the details in business operations. So the fixed cost result from decision most likely associated with the scale of the facility or the practical capacity level. So that's very important. Okay, and the variable cost normally associated more with the monthly usage. So actually, this is a perfect example when we come to separate the practical capacity from the expected normal usage. So this is quite an interesting example, and I hope you enjoy the calculations and also the explanation why the dual rate method is more preferred. Alright, so thank you very much for watching this video.